Nice. So, first question is, how do you come up with the idea for this particular show?
Well, it was it was a group of us, and we all sort of I think approached it from different angles. It really started with the network's desire to do a third, show set in this universe, and I think we all sort of independently ended up doing the same math, which was, wait a minute, we have all these characters on Arrow and all these characters on Flash, and they're all played by amazing actors. There's enough here to actually field a whole other show, to cast a whole other show. And what was really awesome about that for us, what was exciting, was no one's done a superhero ensemble show before, like ever. So the idea of doing something that was new was very enticing to us, particularly since, Arrow's very different from Flash, Flash is very different from Arrow. The one thing we did know going in was we only wanted to do a third show if we could come up with something original and new and different. And certainly doing a team-up show, fit that bill.
Now, I don't know if you're mentally there yet, but season 2...
Yes, I'm mentally there.
Can you tell us how much turnover are we going to see as far as the main cast?
I'm mentally there and prepared to think about it. I'm not prepared to talk about it.
Gotcha.
How's that?
I like it.
So how did you come up with the particular cast of characters to come up with? Because even though there are a lot, there's even more in just the Flash universe and Arrow universe alone. So how did you come up with the exact one you did to be a part of Rip's team?
That's a good question. Well, I think it started with Flash. We knew we wanted to do Firestorm. We love Victor Garber, and we've worked with him in the past, not just on Flash, but on Eli Stone. And the idea of Snart and Rory was just so enticing to us because we knew that having a superhero team-up show is fun. Having a superhero team-up show where two of the members of the team are supervillains is even more fun. And then on Arrow, we had always sort of had this idea to bring Sarah Lance back from the dead via the Lazarus Pit, and we also had spent a season establishing Ray Palmer as the Atom. It just also sort of felt very organic, and sort of from that foursome, we started to build out, and we knew we wanted to introduce some new characters. That's why you have Hawkman and Hawkgirl. That's why you've got Rip Hunter, and it just all sort of came together very organically.
And my last question is, what is, I think, the episode that you're most proud of so far from season 1? Because there's a lot of good ones.
Well, thank you very much for saying that. I would say probably episode 11, which is our Old West episode. That was an episode where I think everything just sort of came together. When you're doing the first season of a show, any first season is a process of discovery. It's a process of discovery for the audience. It's a process of discovery for us as writers and producers, what works, what doesn't. And I just think episode 11 was where it all sort of clicked. Like episode 18 of Arrow, I remember season 1 of Arrow was that was with the Savior, and that was that kind of episode where it's like, oh, everything just fell into place, and you go, oh, that's the template for the show going forward.
That's the Jonah Hex episode?
Yeah.
Can you tell us anything about how the character portrayed?
I would say very faithful to the comics. Obviously we always try to put our own spin on any of these characters. So he's got a bit of, I think he has a bit of sass to him. Probably a little bit more sass and attitude than he has in the comics. That might be because I particularly wrote that episode, and I write characters with a lot of sass. So, but Jonathan Skate did an amazing job portraying him, and you're going to get to see a little bit of him in the sizzle reel that we'll be showing later on today.
Awesome.
Speaking of Jonah Hex, Heatwave, and Hawkman, considering two of them one's dead, one's possibly dead, and the other one we don't really know how much he'll play in the future, how much can people expect to see of all three of them going forward?
Well, I would say with respect to Hex, right now, Jonah only appears in episode 11 of season 1, but anything is possible. The other thing, that we sort of say, Hawkman reincarnates. The show takes place over multiple time periods, so, we could kill a character off tomorrow and then jump back in time and see them again before they die. So, it definitely has a different meaning on this show than it does on other shows, just because of the time travel element of it. And I'm not even talking about the changing time, like preventing their death. I just mean like rewinding the tape essentially and going back to the period before they died. So you'll see quite a bit of that in the remainder of season 1.
So
Last question.
So, before the whole announcement of the Supergirl and Flash crossover, there was a lot of talk about how it would never happen, we would never see it, and then it did happen. We've heard the same kind of talks with Constantine. Are the hopes for Constantine coming back, at least as a guest star on the show, of any of the shows, a possibility now?
There have been conversations. There have been conversations. You know, you're 100% right when you mention Flash and Supergirl. Like, you know, nothing's impossible until it's possible. So, you know, no, we don't have any plans at the moment. You know, we live in exciting times. So,
Great, awesome.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I look forward to.